Hey guys, we're going to go ahead and we're going to go over our comprehension check for Friday, April 17th. So you'll see comprehension check number 19 up at the top of this one. And this one has to do with maps. So let's go ahead and we'll read it together. There are many different types of maps. Maps are pictures of places. Maps help us know where we are and how to find a place or location. There are many different features on a map. On a map, a compass rose will help show the directions of north, south, east, and west. So that's this right here. Maps also give information by using symbols. This is called a legend or a key. The legend tells you what the figures, shapes, lines, and colors mean on a map. Knowing the features of a map can help you better read and understand the map. So if you had a map like this, it would tell you what those pictures mean, okay? So like, what does that little plus symbol mean? What do these houses mean, okay? So let's take a look at our questions. What are maps, okay? So if you have your crayons handy, you can go ahead and use red to find that information over here and underline it, and then you can write it on the lines. I would like you guys to start writing on the lines now, just because it's really good practice with helping us manage our space. What does a compass rose show? And that one will be orange, so come over here, find where it talks about the compass rose and underline it, and then you can write it right here. What are symbols on a map called? Yellow, find it over here, and then write it. Now remember to be writing in complete sentences. You don't have to write exactly what it says in the reading, but it does need to start with a capital letter, end with a period, and make sure you're writing a complete sentence. Name two things that can be found on a legend. On a legend, okay? So you can come over here, find the information, underline it in green. Now, what would be a good title for this passage? Think about what the whole thing is telling us about, okay? What if you were going to give this a name, this reading, if you were going to give it a name, what would you call it, okay? So you want to think about what it's about and what title would be a good title to give people information about what the passage is about. So there's not necessarily a right or a wrong answer for that, but you can come up with something that you think would fit. So I'm going to have you go ahead, pause the video now to do your work, and then we'll come back and go over the answers. Okay, we're going to go ahead and go over the answers real quick. Okay, the first question was, what are maps? Well, over here, it told us exactly. Maps are pictures of places. So that is exactly what I wrote down. What does a compass rose show? Well, over here, it says a compass rose will help show directions of north, south, east, and west. So I wrote a compass rose shows north, south, east, and west. Okay, almost exactly what it said, but I shortened it up just a little bit. What are the symbols on a map called? Okay, well here it talks about symbols, but then it continues down here. So it said maps give information by using symbols. This is called a legend or a key. So I said the symbols on a map are called a legend or key. Okay, so it says name two things that can be found on a legend. Well, it says the legend tells you what the figures, shapes, lines, and colors mean on a map. So I said you can find what the shapes and colors mean. So those were shapes and colors. You could also talk about the figures and lines if you would like. What would be a good title for the passage? Well, there was no right or wrong answer, but I said a good title might be all about maps. You might have a different title. It should have something to do with maps because that is what the passage is about. Okay, good job, guys. We're all set with this one, and you're done with your comprehension checks for the week.